So, yeah. Hi. Welcome once again. It's Monday. It is Monday. The kazoo. The exhibits in the kazoo. Well, I do exhibit some kazoos. And if you had a zoo that consisted mostly of membranophones, it would be, in fact, a kazoo zoo. I might do something with that. Thanks for the inspiration, Tom. So welcome to the Monday show. Here we are, once again, another in a series of Troubadork, non-commute, coping mechanism shows, right here, a lovely place that we call the room known as Away and the house known as Oroki in an undisclosed location in San Antonio, Texas. San Antonio, Texas, where it was freezing and thunderstorming, and now it's hot and kind of dry, and yeah, there it is. On the 3rd of, it was flooding. Yeah, we actually had a makeshift impromptu creek bed running through down one side of our property, down onto the sidewalk, which then channeled the water into our driveway, which channeled it out into the street, which is good as opposed to the other way around, which would have been bad. But got a bunch of songs, gonna do them pretty much. We're gonna do that. You'll see how the gibberish seed, yes, how gibberish occurs. Step 1, Tobias hears something. Step 2, Tobias's brain kicks into gear. Step 3, question mark, question mark, question mark. Step 4, steal underwear. Step 5, profit. All right, so this one, we will start with, yeah, you're simply a vector, sir. You are a vector. We are all vectors when you get right down to it. There's so many things. We'll start with one of my favorite Buffett tunes here, because I like it. Buffett's good. Well, this hotel room's got a lot of stuff. A laundry bag and a shoe shine cloth. 32 hangers and a touch-tone phone with a light that comes on when I ain't home. I ain't home, I ain't home. You better leave a message, cause I ain't home. Yeah. They got an air conditioner for when I'm hot, a radiator for when I'm not. 2 big chairs sitting side by side with the Holy Bible and a TV guide. A TV guide, a TV guide. Great God Almighty, it's a TV guide. More laid back here. I got got a second story view from curb to curb. I got a sign that reads, "Do not disturb." A monogrammed towel and a bucket of ice, a chest of drawers and a mirror that lies. Mirror that lies, a mirror that lies. That couldn't be me in the gorilla disguise. They got a room service menu for food and drink, a porcelain throne and an aluminum sink, 2 big pillows to rest my head, a magic fingers and a king-size bed. Put in the quarter, turn out the lights. Magic fingers makes you feel alright. Feel alright, feel alright. Magic fingers make you feel alright. Or shake you right out of the bed. It's like a paint mixer. Seriously. You don't know. Well, this old hotel is alright with me. They pay the postage if you lose the key. This hotel room has got a lot of stuff, but I do believe I've had enough. Called my baby, say now don't you pout. I'm packing my bags and I'm checking out. As soon as you hang up the telephone, stick a candle in the window, I'm a coming home. Coming home, coming home. Stick a candle in the window, I'm coming home. Whoa, coming home, coming home. Stick a candle in the window, I'm a coming home. Basic ukulele, pick it up and Buffett. Burnish the ukulele. Burnishing, it's burnishing, I tell you. What you looking for?
Putting something in for recycling.
Yeah, and then you paused and lingered and stared at my curio shelf of random pipes and smoking equipment. Oh, my lovely wife had just come to drop some recycling stuff in the recycling bin, but there's also a shelf out of shot on this side, which has a vast collection. Startlingly vast considering how little time I actually spent smoking anything recreationally, tobacco products only, because somebody in his household is very allergic to that kind of stuff. I got into the cigar thing and then the pipe thing in the late 90s, and as much fun as it is, I never really managed to get the whole hang of that whole enjoying nicotine part, because it's nicotine that's actually supposed to give you the rush when you smoke cigarette or cigar or pipe. And I never quite got that. And I think it's probably because I grew up in a household where my dad smoked. And I must have built up a certain tolerance or even an immunity to that particular effect. Because otherwise it's just smoke in your face, in your mouth. And don't even get me started on vaping, because I have enough difficulty with the technology that I have to deal with here on a regular basis. I do not want to have to troubleshoot a vape pen. Most of this stuff is unlikely to suddenly explode and burst into flames in my presence, especially when it's mere inches away from my face or tucked in my pocket. Unless you have a Samsung phone. Alright, anyway. The old Samsung exploding phone gag. Ariel says hi, Amy. Amy says hi. So, the next song we're going to do is one of Kay's favorites, at least partially because Kay is the one who suggested that I write a song about it. I am glad that I can remember that now. It's been a very complicated year, and every so often these pieces of information slide out of my head somewhere and wind up in a pile. I have to go after them and pick them up and brush the dirt off and get it filed back in there so I can remember it. This is particularly a cartoon from the Cat's Cafe webcomic, available dang near anywhere on the interwebs. It is wholesome, it is heartwarming, it is fun, and it featured this guy right here, the Platypus Postman. And when they did the Platypus Postman cartoon for the pandemic, well, that started this up. Very much a Jerry Garcia kind of vibe. Kind of a 3.5 hour Grateful Dead song, maybe. Platypus Postman, Platypus set free. Not a dog will chase him or leave a mark, 'cause the hounds of THUD have used to bark. Everybody! Platypus Postman. Platypus Postman. In the gloom of night he'll safely walk, 'cause the Platypus Postman glows in the dawn. Science, baby! It's the darndest thing that you've ever seen, for the postman bioluminescent green. Platypus Postman. Platypus Postman. 4 minutes. Platypus Postman. 3 hours hello. Platypus Postman. We'll skip that part. In the cold and rain, they won't give you. They're protected by their thick coarse fur. Of all the post carriers on the scene, only one of them is a mono tree. I love being right that. Platypus Postman. Platypus Postman. Platypus Postman. Platypus Postman. Believe in the Platypus Postman. He's got my mail. Platypus Postman. I love ending that pretty. Oh, my goodness me, my goodness me. It is a nice day. I did spend half the day back in the office doing office things, because there are some things you have to physically be in contact with computers in order to achieve. And I achieved the things I set out to achieve within that time frame. It is making me think about how things are going. And there are some basic plans in line for the event that we do eventually return to, quote, normal, end quote. And I wind up going back into the office on a regular basis. I don't think they'll want me to broadcast from the office. On the other hand, longer shows on weekends, entirely possible. Speaking of things happening on weekends, dude, there is a thing that you should be aware of, and that is that on the 22nd of this month, around noon Central Time, I will be having, or participating in, taking part in, a live book release event online for the republishing and redesign of Artisanal Gibberish Volume 1. Pretty cool. Hope y'all can make it. I will be babbling more about that as we get closer and closer and I get some more details. But there will be live readings, Q&A, probably a couple of giveaways, and if we're not lucky, I will actually attempt to create a piece of brand new artisanal gibberish live during the event. When I was doing during the Sherwood Fair, the year that I did a couple of weekends of gibberish there, I rather ill-advisedly decided to do what I call the challenge round, where if you gave me X amount of money, I would actually build a piece of artisanal gibberish live in front of you. And I discovered something. One, you really got to limit to like 5 lines, or it really gets ugly fast. And two, that stuff's not as easy as it sometimes feels like when I'm sitting here all by myself with no external distractions. But anyway, we have Volume 1 coming out this month. Volume 2 will be coming out in a couple more months. And yes, there is work on a Volume 3 going on right now. I'm literally writing stuff and staring at it and going, why the heck did you write that? Anyway, moving through that. So, yeah, I are a writer. Heck, I are a poet. We can add that to my list of increasingly unmarketable skills. Yes, indeed. So, the next song we're going to do is one that I wrote kind of accidentally because I was trying to write another song, and I wound up writing this song instead. Not only did I wind up writing this song instead, I even writ and rotten it. I have no idea where this is going, but that's okay. This is a song that is inspired, at least partially, by somebody that I knew very tangentially back in the day in Austin, Texas, as part of Amped Guard, because they were part of an Amped Guard group in Dallas, the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And they'd noticed that in the SCA, everyone's a lord or a lady at the very least. Wise words, Joseph. Everyone's a lord or a lady, so he created this character, the Dread Peasant Festus, who came into being a little bit after the Princess Bride movie came out. And so there's a song about him. A man who started from humble origins and stayed there. He came from a tiny village just outside of Aberdeen, and his face, it was not noble, and his clothes, they were not clean. But there's often been a hero that has come from such a start. Our Festus wasn't one of them. He was neither brave nor smart. There are heroes, myths, and legends that are known throughout the land. But the dreaded peasant Festus was not that man. There are some men bound for glory, bound for riches or for fame, and among that troubled roll call, you will not find Festus's name. For his voice, it was not noble, nor his bearing very fine, and he towered over no one at the height of 4'9". There are heroes, myths, and legends that are known throughout the land, but the dreaded peasant Festus was not that man. But from holy circumstances, some men rise among the rest. Not that Festus ever tried hard, well, that there is just my own guess. But in noble battle, some men can achieve beyond compare. And on the battlefield of Hastings, our man Festus was not there. There are heroes, myths, and legends that are known throughout the land, but the dreaded peasant Festus was not that man. Thoughtful part. There are legendary figures, doomed to fade away obscure, and our peasant Festus suits that. At least we think we're pretty sure. There is not much known of Festus, Peasantry builds little pride. Matter of fact, all that we're sure of. Well, we're all pretty sure he died. There are heroes, myths, and legends that are known throughout the land of the dreaded Peasant Festus. Was not that man, and there we have that song. I always feel like as I was writing this song, I literally would stop and stare at it for a while and go, why did you do that? Why are you like this, Tobias? But it does seem to work, and it does make people giggle. And honestly, a giggling audience, good audience. An audience where people pass beverage through their nose, fantastic audience. An audience where people legitimately curse my name, astonishing audience. Well, for the right reasons, curse my name. We should qualify that. All right. And now we come to the moment you've all been waiting for. That's right, the final song in this show. Today's final song is one that I wrote after giving serious consideration to the authentic Irish gibberish song, because I wrote that one with an idea of being able to do that at Celtic festivals, and I realized that I really should write like an actual Celtic song. And there are a very set number of topics for Celtic songs, and one of them involves the Fae. Well, a few of them involve the Fae, actually, when I think about it. And so I wrote, I couldn't run away with the Fae, and let that sit for a few minutes. And then somewhere back here in the back of my head, the Fae ran away from me happened. And it's like, well, there's your song. So this song is, in fact, I couldn't run away with the Fae. The Fae ran away from me. A song that, in the traditional Irish manner, could only be sung in one of two ways. Light and airy, or drunk and resentful. Guess which way we're going with. Not even drunk. But I can do resentful real well. And if you're Irish and resentful, you already sound drunk. Let's make sure I'm still tuned. Folks, I would like to give you good news. We are dang near still in tune. I'm amazed myself. So, I play the D chord this way. I play it with the first, basically a finger across all of the second frets, and then my little pinky finger on the 5th fret of the highest string. And the reason I do that is because I also play the E chord up like that. Technically, the E chord is played there, but I like it, makes it sound more finished. So that's why I do that. Anyway, but it does mean I sing this almost like a necktie tenor. That's a man who sings like he's being strangled by his own necktie. My life was a shambles, I wished I were dead. I decided to live with the fairies instead, so I found me a circle of spirits I had known. When I pled my case, fairies had flown, they'd all buggered off, left me all on my own. My dreams of adventure had all blown away. The problem was quite plain to see. Oh, I couldn't run away with the fae, the fae ran away from me. I went to a mushroom ring out in the field, left cakes and honey and hoped it would yield a chance to leave my world and live with the fae. Cakes, honey, and fairies were all gone next day. Them bloody cheap saddies had all run away. My dreams of adventure had all blown away. The problem was quite plain to see. Oh, I couldn't run away with the fae ran away from me. Why? Well, the queen of the fairies, she heard my lament in a big cloud of glitter. She popped up and went, we've heard your petition, but have to say nay. Stop begging to get us to haul you away. My dreams of adventure had all blown away. The problem was quite plain to see. Oh, I couldn't run away with a fair and away from me. I asked why I could not flee into the fay. She said, boy, you boy, oh, you can't go that way. Said, you're a rare one, but we'll tell you true. Immortal life's complex enough without you. With you here, we just don't know what to do. My dreams of adventure had all blown away. Problem was quite plain to see. Oh, I couldn't run away with a fair and away from me. Yeah, I know we've been watching, you're known far and wide, and I said that's a bit on the stalkerish side. Can't live here forever, you can visit, you see. Just remember the K-turns, BYOB, we ain't getting your fun on physicality. My dreams of adventure had all blown away. The problem was quite plain to see. Oh, I couldn't run away with a fair and away from me. DJ! My dreams of adventure had all blown away. The problem was quite plain to see. Oh, I couldn't run away with the fair and away, the fair and away, the fair and away from me. Always such a cathartic song. I really look forward to the opportunity to have a small to middling crowd of people singing, beverage in hand, possibly singing, possibly just yelling angrily with great vitriol and resentment and grumpiness, and having all the Fae people who are playing characters in the Fae slowly edging away from the stage. It's okay. Those of you who portray the Fae, and I said portray, you know who you are. You're wonderful individuals. Magnificent. Those of you who are not portraying, oh, here you are. Watching you. And so we come to the conclusion of yet another hard to explain and even harder to justify Tobias the Adequate Troubadork non-commute pandemic coping mechanism open rehearsal with live heckling show. Thank you for hanging out with me once again. The more of you that show up to see this thing, the more often I am motivated to do it, the more commentary you get. I do need to play that for Alexander James. I do. I actually sent him a link to it. And he hasn't gotten back to me. I have no other comment on that at this time. He ran away. See? Yes. The Fae ran away from me. It's in the song. But in any case, we will continue to do this until such time as our circumstances merit changing the plan. At which point we will adapt, we'll improvise, we'll overcome. We are, of course, all professionals here. Right? Yeah, sorta, maybe. Anyway, we do live in a capitalistic society, so real quick, tip jar, it's paypal.me/theadequate, Venmo, @ the adequate. Thank you to Alicia, Eric, Robert, Rick, Emily, and Miranda for throwing some bucks in the virtual bucket. Because it's hard to throw money in an actual bucket when you're very far away. For supporting adequacy in our lifetime on a more ongoing process, there are, of course, the maniacs at patreon.com/theadequate. I would like to thank Jen, Joe, Alexi, Austin, Chris Teppo, Shay, Linda, and Stephen, Rob, Alicia, Relly, BK, Richard, Brian, Lorene, and my Patreon patrons past and future, whoever you may be. You know who you are. I don't always know who you are, for supporting me. This past couple of weeks, we have had an amazing amount of weather, and the thunderstorms have made it a little complicated for me to try to record stuff. I am working on some songs. I am going to try and get them out onto the Patreon page soonish. I'm also working on the audiobook for Artisanal Gibberish. Yeah. And I actually discovered that I had already recorded about either somewhere between the third and a half of the passages that I need for Volume 1, which is good. It's not easy to record these because if I'm doing it live, I can just do it, and if I mumble or fumble, no big deal, live show. But if you're recording it, you got to do it right. All the way through. Madness, I tell you. You can find me over here at theadequate.com. I am at theadequate on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I am at Tobias the Adequate, TikTok and Tumblr, SoundCloud.com/Matthew-Laguerre, where I keep most of my recorded stuff. Unrulyvoices.com/product/artisanal-gibberish. Gibberish, see? See right there, we'd have to redo that. Is the place to find out about the Artisanal Gibberish book, which is coming out, being re-released to the great wild, both in hard copy and in ebook format. Yes, that's right, ebook format, and all the popular formats for a mere measly 99 cents. You can't even get a coffee for that in most places. All over the place where ebooks are vended. And of course, there's THUD Bucket. We are working on a couple of additional videos. They will come out when we have the wherewithal to get them all organized and the weather is good enough for me to shoot some exterior shots for Got to Get Home, which is my epic song of a man trying to get home before the fries in his dinner bag go cold. True story. That's enough out of me. Thank you all for hanging out with me again. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Be kind. Be safe. Be silly. Hydrate. Drink water. You ridiculous noodles. And remember, whatever you want to remember, honestly. I got nothing pithy to say this time around. Y'all have been wonderful. I have been Tobias the Adequate, and I thank you once again for encouraging my behavior. I will see you guys next time. Take care. Aloha. See ya.